Hey everyone, welcome back to the Book Cave with me, Jenny. If you've been watching my book hauls, you will see that I had one where I had a bunch of Mary Oliver's books. So I went ahead and started to dive into those, and I will bring you my thoughts as I finish them all. So I will get to that and be back with some more thoughts. I read Felicity by Mary Oliver as my first collection, my first collection for this video, I should say. And it was okay. This is more of a love poem collection, whereas her collections I had read previously were more about nature and life in general, and I did enjoy those more. This one wasn't bad, it just wasn't my favorite. And I really don't have a favorite poem out of it or anything, but this was a short little collection as well, a very quick read, something that's easy to revisit as well. And there is some really lovely nature imagery in here. For example, she says, "I'm ready for spring, but it hasn't arrived. The mangroves, as always, are standing in their beloved water, and their new leaves very small and tender and pale. And look, the way the rising sun strikes them, they could be flowers opening." And that's the type of poetry I really like from Mary Oliver, and that I feel like she excels at, is with, nature and everything. So yeah, this is still, if you want to try poetry, or if you like poetry like Mary Oliver, this is definitely a worthwhile volume. I did give it 4 stars. So, like I said, it's definitely not bad, just not my favorite. And I believe the next one I'm going to read is Evidence, or possibly Dog Songs. I'm not sure which one, but one of those two will be next. So I decided to read Mary Oliver's collection Evidence next, and I do have to say I liked this one more than Felicity. It had more of her nature poems, and I do really enjoy those. And, we had some really good quotes in here. And here's one of them. She says, "In my house, there are 100 half-done poems. Each of us leaves an unfinished life." And, yeah, she just has a lot of quotes like that, and I feel like has more quotes like that in the nature-inspired poems rather than any other poems. And then, so this is definitely a favorite collection of hers. I can definitely recommend, if you're starting out with her, Evidence might be a good one to start with. So yeah, now I'm going to go on to Dog Songs, and we'll see what I think about that one. Dog Songs is, as it sounds, all about dogs. All the dogs, or many of the dogs at least, that Mary Oliver has known. And it is filled with illustrations, such as this one, and different illustrations of the different dogs she's known. And this collection is obviously very nature-oriented, and deals a lot with how dogs are, so joyful, and you can see them, how they jump around and act so happy and everything. And this is one that I like. It's called Every Dog's Story. I have a bed, my very own. It's just my size, and sometimes I like to sleep alone. But sometimes dreams are dark and wild and creepy, and I wake and am afraid, though I don't know why. So I climb on the bed, where the light of the moon is shining on your face. Everybody needs a safe place. Obviously, that's not all of the poem, but that's just several lines from it. And I really like these poems, and I do feel like this is a very good collection of Mary Oliver poems. I still feel like it's really focused, obviously, just on dogs, so it might not be a good, like, the first collection to read, because it doesn't give, like, an overview, really, of her different types of poems. I still feel like Felicity, not Felicity, Evidence is probably one of the best ones to start with. But this would be one, that you could definitely read early on and get a really good idea of, like, what sort of poems and such you're in for. So yeah, right now all I have left is Upstream and Devotions, and I believe Upstream is all essays, so I may hold off on that one and do Devotions next. I'm not sure, but I will obviously let you all know. Devotions is a collection that was actually curated by Mary Oliver. She went through all her published poetry collections and chose poems from each of them to put in this book. And I feel like I keep saying this with every single one, that it's a good place to start with her poetry, but I really think this one is the absolute best, just because it has something from all her collections, and you can really get an idea of her poetry. And again, I absolutely love the themes of, like, she's life, death, nature, what's really important, religion, and I feel like she just touches on all these so easily, so simply, like they're all very accessible. And yeah, I absolutely love her poems. And one of my favorite lines is, "Tell me, what is it you're going to do with your one wild life?" I believe it's something like that. I probably missed a few words there, but I absolutely love that. And then there's another line where she says, "I don't want to have just visited this world." And yeah, the poems are great. I absolutely love Mary Oliver, and I definitely need to read even more of her poems. Unfortunately, my library doesn't have all her collections, but as of finishing this, I only have Upstream, and then I will have completed everything that the library has that she's written. So it's kind of sad, but of course I can always go back and revisit them, which I'm sure I will be. So yeah, I'm going to start reading Upstream and report back to you on that. So I finished my Mary Oliver collection with Upstream, which is a collection of her essays. And these were just as good as her poems. They again have a lot of the same themes of nature and everything, and respecting nature, being out and in nature, and that sort of thing. And they did have some pretty good quotes. I would say I do enjoy her poetry a lot more, but I can definitely see, like, all her influences here. and it's definitely something I would recommend if you've read anything of Mary Oliver's and enjoy it. So that is all the Mary Oliver books that my library had, and as you can tell, I really did enjoy this, and I really do like her poems, and you can definitely see influences of some other poets, but I love how she's able to make them all her own. And yeah, if you like poetry, I definitely recommend reading some of hers. And if you're looking to get into poetry, I feel like a lot of her poems are very accessible and won't leave you feeling confused or anything, or just like meh. I feel like they're all very well written. But yeah, that's all I have for you this time. So I hope you will come back and visit me in the book cave again. And if you want to know whenever I post a new video, go ahead and subscribe. And if you like this video, go ahead and like and leave me a comment. Let me know what poems you're reading or anything else. I always love to talk to you all in the comments. And I will see you next time in the book cave.